Section 8 faces $26.7 billion cut under Trump budget proposal. With that, giving all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Greatmillstone who rule well. Peace and blessing to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom Barakatum. And yeah, more bad news for the wicked that are at ease, man. This guy Donald Trump is on a roll, man. He's on fire, you know, and we're loving it, you know, because at the end of the day, we may suffer because we're here, but at the end of the day, we will be defended for doing the right thing. What are you gonna have? Okay, all of you proud, wicked people, man. You know, let's read some of this article. Now I'm just kind of going on the fly here, but it says millions of Americans relying on rental assistance could soon face uncertainty. The Trump administration's latest budget proposal calls for a $26.7 billion cut to Section 8 and other federal housing assistance programs, a 43% reduction from current funding levels. Okay, so that's almost half. Okay, almost cut in half, man. You know, and all of these women, because you know that's who's on Section 8, man. This is a direct shot at Keisha. Okay, there's a lot of Edomites too. You know, actually, there's probably more Edomites on it than Jake. You know, but we know predominantly this is Keisha. This is a source of pride, while she's calling everybody else broke, and you're not a provider, and this and that. She's able to spend money on a bunch of bullshit because she's paying 10% of her rent. You know, and she's looking at you like you ain't nothing. Okay, well that pride is getting ready to be stomped out. Okay. Because we see that things are about to get bad at the same time. He's you know, you got a massive student loan over your head with Section 8, you know, and you're gonna have to start paying that back. This Isaiah 4:1 thing, it's coming, man. Okay, it's coming. We keep saying it. You know, this might be Isaiah 4:1 part 2, because this is the time of Jacob's trouble, and it starts with this. Okay, he's gonna push you closer and closer to the brink of desperation, because he's getting ready to offer you something ridiculous. Okay, which basically your soul. That's what he's gonna require. When it's all said and done, you're gonna be like, give me the chip. Okay, when it's all said and done, you're gonna be like, give me the chip. I can't take this shit no more. Like what was that in the movie? Was that Dave Chappelle? Was that Martin? That movie of Martin? Yeah, I can't take this shit no more. You done talked about me enough, boy. You know? He was getting heckled by Eddie Murphy, I believe. I forgot. Anyway, that's where it's going. All right? You know the precepts that coincide with this, man. Okay? As a matter of fact, before I get that, I'm gonna get this Isaiah 1 real quick, because all you had to do was repent and get in order, man. Now the Most High got to do it the hard way. Okay? Now you got to learn the hard way, you know, about what order, the value of order and being under a man. The Lord, you didn't want to respect your man, the Lord's gonna force you to respect him. Okay? He's gonna turn your curses up, man. Okay? If your curses is already maxed out to a 10, he's gonna get a new amplifier and crank it up to 11, 15, you know? Because you're wicked, man. Isaiah 1:3, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doeth not know, my people doeth not consider. Because you think that you got it. You top dog, man. Okay? You can't be told nothing, okay? And you're being openly mocked. Okay, there's a 12-foot statue of Keisha in Times Square, and she's obese with her hands on her hip, with an attitude looking like, you know, no man. Just a single obese woman, okay? And they made you a spectacle in one of the busiest blocks in the world, which is Times Square, New York, okay? And you're proud. Meanwhile, your Section 8 is getting cut. Meanwhile, student loans are about to be on your ass, okay? but you didn't consider. Verse 4, it says, ah, a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers. Okay, y'all are a seed of evildoers, man. Y'all are spreading around all of these diseases, and then trying to switch up and be, oh, I'm a Christian now. I need a man of the Lord, you know. And you 35 now. No, you tired. That's what you are. Okay, you're looking for a retirement plan. You know, that's really what this is. You don't really want to serve and be a woman. Women don't want to be a wife. They want the wedding, but they don't want to be a wife. Okay. You can't be fooled by this. And brothers, in the coming, months, you're gonna have a lot of chameleons coming out of the woodwork, man. Like I watched the chick on what was that show, the Pop the Balloon show, the other day, and she was a Keisha. She's talking about, I used to date hood dudes, but I don't do that no more. I got a 15-year-old. Well, that's too late, man. He's a man now. You done already screwed up. Talking about I don't date hood dudes anymore. Well, yeah, you do. She's still thinking about the hood dudes, man. But she's on there talking about I need a good man now. No, stay your ass over there. Okay? Stay your ass over there and in Section 8. Okay? And guess what? The property values are not gonna go up when all Section 8 does is give you a discount. It doesn't raise the property value. You just gotta pay full price to live next to a building that smell like, Newports and herpes, man. Okay? That's what you gotta live in, full price now. All right? And stay your ass over there. We're not buying women drinks. We're definitely not taking you on dates. All right? We're not trying to hear nothing, okay? You come to me, you know what I want? I want a servant, okay? What do you want from a slave, okay? Box and obedience. That's what I require, okay? If you ain't doing that, then don't come around me, man, okay? We've been hearing this for decades and decades and decades, and you still can't be told nothing. See, the demon is still really in her, man. But right now, she's in dire straits. That pride is eating at her. She don't really want to submit, but she ain't got no choice. And see, that's what happens when these women deal with a bunch of grimy niggas they whole life in their earlier years. All right, that's still in them, but they realize them dudes never gonna settle down with them. They never gonna lock it down, and they looking for you to put a ring on it. And that's why they pressure you to get married. Why? Because that gives them the power of Esau to force you to give up half your assets if you try to leave her. Okay, that's what the game is, man. This is why the whole thing is a joke, and this is why Trump is doing a mighty work. But I'm gonna keep going on this Isaiah 1. It says, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. The children that come out of the single mother home, they're a plague, man. Okay, they are an absolute plague. And now you've been doing it for 2 generations at least now, and now you got to date these niggas, man. Okay, a lot of them can't even read. Full grown can't even read, man. Okay, niggas at 35 don't have a driver's license. Your seed did this, okay, because you refused to get in order. All right, and it says they have forsaken the Lord Yahawah. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. Okay, it's backward to think that you're over a man. Okay. It's backward to be a hoe and try to have a career before you have children. That's backwards. You're supposed to have children first. Okay, when your womb can handle it, because you try to have a kid over 35, that's geriatric, man. After you've had a career, you done got ran through by every boss you've ever had. Every nigga that's tall with tattoos that you work with, you done laid down with all of them. You're supposed to have a career, a quote unquote career after, man. After you had your kids, all right, you served your husband, y'all at the point where you're kind of retirement, then you can start a jewelry business, okay? You can start a flower business, all right? And your husband can oversee that and help guide you with those things. And you have kids to support you as well too, okay? Kids are a #1 asset, man, okay? And how many have y'all just deleted in the womb, okay? Backwards, man. Okay. Verse 5, the main point. Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more, the whole head is sick and the whole heart faint. You know, the whole heart is faint, man. Why do we got to constantly do this and do this and do it? Y'all are going to wait to the point where you're starving or Esau got his foot on your neck before you realize, oh, we shouldn't have trusted this guy. You would do everything but get an order under your man. You would do everything but you'll worship any deity. You'll worship the stars, the ancestors, anything but the Most High. So now the Lord got to show you, okay? Some more in this article. It says, come on, man. Ads. It says how the proposal cuts would affect Section 8. Under the proposal, the Department of Housing and Urban Development would significantly scale back funding to the Housing Choice Voucher program, Section 8 housing vouchers, which currently assist about 2.3 million households. So you're going to have 2 million women. It's mainly women. There's some men, but it's mainly women automatically about to just be out there like paying, what they paying 10% now. They're going to be paying 8 times their rent bill because you paying, 8 or 9 times their rent bill. Because if you're only paying 10% now, let's say your rent would be $1,000 and you're only paying $100. Well, now you have to pay $1,000. Okay. So and 2 million, that's a lot of people. Okay. and they ain't got it. They ain't got it because they don't save money. Section 8 would be wise if you did it for 5 years and you was saving money and putting it in this and that, making investments. But that ain't what y'all doing. We know you not. Okay. A lot of y'all then bought Beyonce tickets and a Birkin bag in the same year. Okay. Both of those things are more than your salary, but because credit is easy to get, you just whatever. All right. It says, in addition, the plan introduces new time limits on assistance. Able-bodied adults without disabilities would see their rental aid capped at 2 years. Okay, so he's putting a time frame on it now. Okay, and watch how these women switch up. I'm telling you. Okay, brothers, you're gonna have to start curving a lot of women pretty soon. Okay, it says a move towards state control. The proposal would also transition much of the federal housing assistance program into block grants administered by states. States would have greater flexibility to determine eligibility rules and benefits, but advocates warn this could create major disparities between states. And California is a big one, man, because if you had to pay the California rent 100%, boy, man, look, good luck with that. And by the way, these states don't have it. They're taking the money out on a federal level. The federal government funds the states, okay, but the states are already running deficits. So it ain't like they just gonna be able to come in and make up the gap for the money. What is this gonna lead to, man? I'll go over a couple chapters from Isaiah 1 to Isaiah 4. All right, Isaiah 4:1, and in that day 7 women shall take hold to one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. All right. So they're gonna come humble, man. But you got to realize what had to happen for them to do it. It wasn't in them to do it. They don't really love you. Okay. They love what you offer them. Okay. I get that a lot. It's a woman, she looking at me and, man, and I'm looking at her. You can tell when a woman really likes you. You know what I'm saying? You've been around. You can tell. All right. Or she's just being nice, or I give you some used box, if you do this, do that, they start dry begging. Man, my light bill went up a lot this month. Dry begging, hoping you gonna simp out and oh, don't worry about it, queen. No. How about you pay my light bill, man? Make an investment, but women, they don't see it that way. Last precept, Isaiah 32. Okay. Isaiah 32 and 1, behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as the rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. She ain't gonna be mocking your 1-bedroom apartment then, okay? You're like, all you got is a 1-bedroom, you know? Oh, all you make is $60,000 a year, you know? She ain't gonna be mocking then, is she? She gonna be like, oh, you're stable, okay? You know, because they don't consider, man. They don't consider their latter end. That's Isaiah 47. Isaiah really going in, and really I could just stay in the book of Isaiah, okay? She thinks she will sit a lady forever. No, absolutely not. There's no way the Lord gonna suffer you women to wild out this bad, man, forever. Okay? It says, verse 3, and the eyes of them the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall not be darkened. The heart of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly. All right? And in NLT it says, even hotheads will be full of sense and understanding. Okay? These women that always got something to say. You got women that call you my nigga, gang. You know, ready to curse you out, wilding out in different stores and restaurants. All right, well, guess what? She gonna humble down that day. She ain't gonna have a choice. Okay, if I skip down verse 9, it says, rise up, ye women. Or I go to verse 8. It says, but the liberal devises liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. All right, it says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come. Okay? So your vintage has failed, and it's going to get worse. Okay? Anyway, I'll end it there. Lord willing, this is edifying. Call halal Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, Shalom, Kwam Yasharallah. On to the next.